He turned his face to the east and said, I'm not looking back. He had had his fill of the gold rush, and all he had were empty sacks. Last week when he had to put old Bertha down, he made up his mind that it was time he was eastern bound. The parched and wrinkled skin on his face, like the dry, broken clay, along with his senses and instincts, they've all seen their better days. He hopes to cross the Mississippi before winter settles in. He knows those chilly prairie winds could be the death of him. When he first came out west, he was full of life and wild, like the rivers that flow from the Sierras to the valleys, from the mountainside. When he makes it back to Boston, he'll get a shave and a bath, look up an old friend or two, that is, if he has any left. Some new men in the camp recently told him things back east weren't the same. That night when he bunked in Colorado, he thought, how much could 40 years change? By the time he made it to Kansas, he was second-guessing himself. If he even made it to Boston, would he have any will to live and love left? Her name is Rebecca, and through the years she would come to him in his dreams, even though Massachusetts was the last time she'd been heard from or seen. Her picture in his timepiece in his pocket, empty of gold. And whenever he thinks of Boston, it's of her instead of the cold. Last night in Missouri, he thought he heard some Chickasaw in the mountains. When he made it to Ohio, he was still thinking about him. He met a trapper and his son not far from the river. Said his name was Boone. He decided that year with them to winter. When they headed back to Kentucky, he had reached the Pennsylvania line, wishing he was back by the Ohio running a fishing line. The Alleghenies weren't so cruel when he first met them as a young man. Now he wonders if he will be able to survive them. And will Boston even be worth it? Will it feel like home anymore? Bertha would have nudged him in his back. He laughs when he remembers her stubbornness and snorts. In '84, some hunters found his body on a trail near Harrisburg. He was lying face down. Overhead was a gathering of hungry birds. They gave him a decent burial and spoke a few words of their faith, and wondered how and why an old 49er would be that far back east. And now there's an old maid in Boston remembering a man she loved years ago. And she wonders if she'll live long enough to even see him come back home. He turned his face to the east and said, I'm not looking back.